Some okay, we are live, Melga. Yeah.
Hi, JD.
Dude. So Melga, we met. So one.
I'll tell you how we met. I
Okay.
remember that day.
Mm.
So it's an amazing story.
Hmm.
So this happened, I think, 13 years back.
You
So
just gave out
so
our
JD
age.
was in
Mm.
no. JD was in our college for a retreat, and I caught him stealing money from my bag actually.
Ada Pavi.
And I confronted him, and I
Dude.
with my words of wisdom and with my kindness, I kind of like influenced my influence over him.
That's
It,
false
it that
story.
that I think this is the most interesting story that anybody has heard.
No, okay.
I
Tell
came
them
up
the
with this one yesterday.
So tell the truth then. So we both of us were part of Jesus Youth, and I joined Jesus Youth Music Ministry, and you were part of the audiovisual ministry, and quite active with all the activities that were happening in your college. So the first year when I was part of Jesus Youth, we had a very big program in Stella Maris Harvest,
Yes.
and that's how we got acquainted. And after that we did a lot of creative things together, but after a long gap, it is only in the last 1 year that we got in touch, isn't it?
I think Song on Fire brought us together again, and
Yeah.
we became really good friends because of Song on Fire.
Dude, you're not giving me the credit.
Song on Fire happened because of you, JD. So I mean, because of Jesus
Yeah.
through you, and
Both
so,
and, yeah. Melga, go a little back. Yeah, sit
yeah.
like that. Don't come forward. So today, I just would like to, tell people who are tuning in what we are going to discuss, and we've been planning to do this for a long time because Melga and I, we have very good conversations when we speak with each other, and we are in the same length, and we share the same thought pattern. And somehow we wanted to do a video on something which is, really impacting the culture, and we came across this movie called Mimi, which is a Bollywood movie released in Netflix, and it really brings out the pro-life message like in no other movie has done in India. So that is what we are going to talk about today. Melga, before we actually talk about all that, so I just want to tell everybody that I went for shopping yesterday just to buy a dress so that I match up to your standard. So do I look like a Bollywood hero?
You wish, JD.
Dude, you.
But, yeah.
What did you say? Just got cut. What did you say?
Oh, so sorry. I said you wish, JD, but yeah, maybe 7 points for your
Dressing.
for trying.
Yes. And also, Melga, a lot of people are, slowly watching this movie. So I was really impressed with this actress. I think, a lot of main Bollywood actors would have turned down because it brings out a very pro-life message. And probably she would have been the only actors who would have agreed, isn't it? What's her name? And could you tell something about the actress?
Her name is Kriti Sanon, and hats off to her for doing it because I think this is the age of surrogacy and IVF completely because Shilpa Shetty had a second baby through surrogacy.
Ah.
But then, yeah, actresses like Kareena Kapoor Khan have changed the entire image of motherhood and all.
Huh.
But still, I think this is the age of surrogacy, and hats off to Kriti Sanon for doing this kind of movie because it sends such an amazing message. I literally had tears while watching this movie.
This is the only movie I've cried in the last 10 years. because because I think one good thing is the actress herself was really natural in her acting, but all the
Yes,
supporting artists were drama artists, so they really brought out the fulfilling the emotion very well.
Yes. I agree. I totally agree. Especially Pankaj Tripathi.
Who is
Too
the
good
driver?
Yeah, the driver.
Okay, I didn't like him that much, but yeah, the rest of the
He was very good.
yeah. And yeah, so but the actress herself, you said that she has not acted great films in the past, but this was a very
Not much.
breakthrough
Yeah,
movie
I
for her.
think by far this is her best performance. I think everybody will agree with me when I say this. This is her best performance so far.
And it's so
Yeah, she
natural,
hasn't
right?
acted in many movies. She's like, I think she came 5-6 years back maybe.
Mm.
I'm not that sure, but yeah, she hasn't acted in many movies. But this one, it is going to change
Yes.
the entire future for
Yeah,
her.
she was so natural in her acting. There was no scene I felt okay. The director had
Yes,
forced
yes,
her to bring out a certain emotion. So yeah, so I have written
yes.
down 3 scenes, Melga. That is what we are going to discuss, and we'll try to bring out a certain
Okay.
pro-life message. So the first scene that I would like to talk to you about is the fact that she had this obsession, or she had made the fact that she wanted to act in a Bollywood movie as an her idol, and for that she needed
Hmm.
money. And if you see the connection, the
Yes.
dream became an idol and money became the means, and she was even ready to lose her dignity. I'm not saying carrying a child is undignified, but to carry the child for
Hmm.
the sake of money. Would you agree? Your thoughts
Yes.
on it?
Okay, she was desperate, but
Yeah.
that is not an excuse.
Yes.
But yeah, carrying a child for someone else, it is a big step,
Yeah.
especially for someone who is not married. And
Yeah.
in this Indian society,
Yeah.
it is definitely a big step. Yeah, I can't. I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
because obviously carrying a baby itself is it's a whole different thing, and especially doing it for money, I wouldn't have done it. But then maybe we should be a little empathetic why she did it.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, but my point is that sometimes when the aspirations or the dream or whatever we want to do in our life, the goal becomes an obsession, then we tend to become very the obsession leads us to do things which we wouldn't otherwise do. I mean, that particular dream could be a good thing, but it should not go
yeah,
to a point of obsession. Then it makes us so entangled or attached to it that we are even ready to let go of our dignity.
it is that situation where we think we are thinking of the bigger picture, but we are not actually thinking of the bigger picture,
Uh,
because once you have a baby, everything changes. And in the movie, it is a good example of that.
yeah.
She thinks that she will get the money and she will become a good act I mean, she'll become a famous actress, and she even starts looking for apartments in Bombay.
Uh,
But then what happens is she ends up with the kid.
yeah.
So what we think is good for us, that is not what is good for him, and God has planned something really
Uh,
bigger for us.
uh,
So
yeah, that is
I don't know. I
precisely the point.
think
That is why I think
yes,
our goal and aspiration should not become an obsession. That's the point I'm trying to bring. Even
yes,
drawing
true,
parallel
true, true, true.
drawing parallel to the Sarah's movie, she was willing to
Hmm.
abort her own child because a dream became the fact that an obsession for her, isn't it?
Yes. But Sarah's, okay, so I'm going to bring another point over here,
Sure.
since we are talking about Sarah's. So when I watched Sarah's, I was disappointed,
Yeah.
not just because of the abortion. This movie sends a completely wrong message. Okay, so when a new generation kid watches this movie, all she is going to think is, he or she is going to think is, okay, so abortion is fine.
Uh,
But there's another message over there that needs to be talked about right now, that bringing up a child is not just a woman's responsibility.
yeah.
It is a shared responsibility. And I think it's high time that we accepted that fact. So
Yeah.
what is the reason? I just thought that had this message been talked about or amplified in the movie,
Yes.
I would still have been fine, because it is in such circumstances that, because I remember when I was a kid, my mother is a homemaker. She
Yeah.
was and is a homemaker.
Hmm.
The only thing that I have been wired to is that I am responsible for the family. I have to look after the kid.
Uh,
It is not her fault. She was raised in that way,
Maybe.
and she raised me. My mother raised me in that way.
uh,
But I think this entire thing should be changed. And when this thing comes, I think abortion won't be even an option.
hmm.
Women will be like, okay, fine, I'm having a kid. It is a shared responsibility. I just feel that it should be normalized.
Mm.
And second thing,
Mm.
through Sarah's, I seriously feel that directors should start showing what happens after an abortion.
Yes.
They just show that, okay, she aborted her child, now she's making a movie and it's a success.
Hmm.
No, what a woman goes through her entire body. Okay, so I have had 2 miscarriages, and I have the right to say this, that
Hmm.
abortion is not good for your body. Not at all. Because both my is it okay if I talk about it right now?
Sure. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So both my miscarriages, so one happened when I completed 2 months, and one happened when I completed 5 weeks, when the baby was just 5 weeks. So the thing is, you need to get your uterus cleaned
DNC.
once you have the
Yeah.
miscarriage. Otherwise, there are chances of infection.
Yeah.
So the first one happened through a proper surgery and all. and the second one with a pill. And trust me, JD, both the times I was in such pain after, post. The first one post surgery, and the second one while the uterus was being cleaned, because I had taken a pill. And the mental trauma
Yes.
and the physical trauma, I feel this should be shown, because had I not gone through this, I wouldn't have known that okay, this happens after. And miscarriage and I think the procedure might be the same. And one more thing about abortion, like Divya Sabin said, they showed her a video, them a video during pre-Kana. I have also seen that video, and my goodness, I don't know how the doctors who do abortion sleep at night after doing an abortion.
Yeah.
But it is murder. It is literally murder. The way they do it. I mean, I literally had chills in my bones when I saw that video. And that was the day I remember I decided never ever am I going to get an abortion done. I mean, no matter what the case, situation be. So yeah. So since we were talking about Saras, I felt, I mean, they should have amplified on the correct message.
That was a strategic move by the director, because then, it kind of undermines his whole message, the message he's trying to bring out, right? The fact that fact is, women's choice, women's body, they can, do anything.
Here and there, they are talking about feminism and everything. But the actual thing is, when a new generation kid, a girl or a boy sees it, the only message that is going to strike him or her is that, okay, abortion is fine. And that I felt, no.
Yeah. So coming back to the point that we are talking about in this context of this movie Mimi. So, my only message in this particular thing is, do not let your dreams and aspirations. It is good to have dreams and aspirations, but do not let it obsess you. The moment it obsesses you, it becomes an idol, and no idol will lead you in the right way, because you are placing the idol means you are placing something in the place of God. So when God is not at the center, things will, automatically go, haphazard, isn't it?
Right, true.
So if you see in this movie clearly, because the fact that she wanted to become a Bollywood movie star, and the fact that she needed money to do it, eventually led her. That is how that guy actually convinces her, right? Isn't it? Did you not want?
He knew what she wanted. He knew exactly what she wanted, and that's how he played.
Yeah.
With her. Yeah.
Because when he goes and convinces her, isn't it? Did you not want to become a Bollywood star? Do you not need money to do it? So why are you saying no to it? It is just simple. Just 9 months after that, you can go become a, it actually blinded her, and it has happened to me also, Melga. When our desires and our aspirations become an idol, we tend to do anything, even if it is going to be, fault at our own dignity.
Yes.
You remember the scene, right? The second thing, the second thing which was really inspiring, the scene which I cried, was when she goes and the doctor says the child is going to have Down syndrome, and the couple, the American couple leave, and then she goes up for a checkup, and the doctor asks, where are they? And she says they have ran away. And they told me to abort the child, and then she brings in the whole pro-life message. I know, why is it okay to? I mean,
my favorite part of the movie. She says, I believe that this child is alive inside me. He is growing day by day. He breathes. He even listens to what we say. Then why can't we accept this child when it's in the womb itself?
It is.
I was like, where is our pro-life message?
Yes, exactly. And she says, if it is wrong to kill a child outside the womb, why is it okay to kill a child inside the womb? One interesting point that I found, Melga, see, after she, is told to abort, then she is brought to her senses. The very fact that she acknowledged the dignity of the child in her womb brought her back to her senses and made her realize her own dignity as a person who's carrying the child, isn't it? That is so revealing, right?
Yes,
because so many couples who, when they get married, even though they get married, they are still very selfish, still thinking about themselves and all that. The moment the child comes, they discover their humanity like never before. For you also, it was like that, isn't it? When a child came into your...
For me, so when I was getting married, I had attended this really good retreat before getting married. So I was completely ready. Even Ajay was ready. Even be it within the first month or second month. We were ready to get pregnant, and I got pregnant in the third month itself. But God had a different plan.
Mm.
I finally had a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby only after, I think, more than 3.5 years. So God had a plan for us, and it worked that way. But for me, I was completely, so I think if there are Christian brothers and sisters watching this, friends watching this, having a child is not it's I don't know, if it's not a silly game.
Mm.
There is a lot of responsibility into it, and one thing that I learned from that retreat was you need to you need to be prepared to have a baby, not just physically but also spiritually, because that affects the baby that is going to grow in your womb. That affects a lot. It is a plus if you pray. If you, before preparing, if you start praying before itself, it helps a lot. The baby that is going to grow in your womb is going to change your life in a very good way. So yeah, it is, first of all, it is very important to be prepared before having a kid.
But you will also say that you can't be completely prepared, right? Nobody can be completely prepared, isn't it?
Yeah, no matter how much you read, theory is not enough.
Yes.
Because once you are in that situation, things change, because not every kid is the same, not every parent is the same. You think that you're going to be this kind of parent, but you turn out to be a completely different parent. It happened for me. So you need to have a flexible mind and an open mind, and be ready for the unexpected.
And how did your child bring you out of yourself? Like, did you discover a greater Melga when you became a parent?
Yeah, actually, how do I put this? I don't know. Ethan did. So I was not patient. I used to be like really impatient about things. Certain thing I want it to be done in this way, or it needs to be done within this time. But once I had him, I learned to be patient. The things are not gonna go the way you plan.
Exactly.
And it changes you. It changes you in a good way. You just have to be like I said, you need to be really flexible. Otherwise, if you're going to be adamant that no, I want certain things in this way, it is not going to help you in any way. Trust me. You're going to go crazy for sure.
And one of my friends said that he was always praying to God that please God, make me unselfish, make me more humble, and God blessed him with 3 boy children. So
God has his ways of answering your prayer.
Yeah.
You need to be specific.
Yeah. So he realized that the children that he had eventually made him a better person. So in the case of Mimi too, right? I think the child made her realize her own dignity. And after that fact that, she was told about the child, and she said, no, this is a life growing inside me. After that, money or the dream that she had all did not match up to what was happening.
What the society will think about her, that also didn't matter for her.
Exactly. So the very fact that a child comes into your life changes you for good, as you rightly say. Yes. It brings you out of your selfish nature, isn't it?
It literally pulls you out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. That is the point. Yeah, even in this movie, one interesting observation that I had, Melga, like before, when the American couple were there, and in the first 2 or 3 months, every time the couple used to come, they were only concentration was money. Okay, the actor guy, the driver guy, he says, "Sir, what about me? But after after that, they never.
Yeah, there's a transformation in both of them actually, Pankaj Tripathi and Mimi as well. Both of them change, because there's a conversation between them in the night. She says, "Okay, I understand why I am doing this, but why are you doing this? You could have just ran away. I wouldn't have come to look for you.
This is not even your child."
He's like, he says something that I could completely relate. So he says that, "Ma'am, I am a driver. I'm supposed to."
Take the customer to the destination.
It felt like Jesus is telling that. Like,
really?
Okay, I am your driver, so I will take you there. I will not abandon you midway.
Yeah. That's a good connection, isn't it? And
yes.
so and also the fact that coming back to the point, sometimes when the child comes, you forget all the things that was holding you back. to your selfishness, to your ego, and to your pride, all that breaks. So, what I'm trying to say is the child is a blessing that God gives you, which is why it is called a blessing, because it
Yes.
sanctifies you, it makes you more holy, and it pulls you out of your comfort zone and pulls you out of your ego drama, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because no matter, even so, sometimes in front of Ethan, my son, I try to cry so that he just leaves me alone, but he won't. He'll come and give me kisses, and my heart will melt, and then he will make me do what he wants.
But why do you cry?
No, sometimes I need a timeout. So I just act. I don't actually cry, but then I just act. Just to see, will he give me a timeout? I'm like, no. But then it just reminds me, okay, right now he needs me, and I have to be there for me, and I want to be there for him. There will come a time whenever I think, oh, why can't he just leave me alone? I do think like that. I am a human. I do think like that. And I'm pretty sure the mothers also think like that.
Yeah.
Why can't I just get me time for myself? But then that doesn't happen, and I just realize, okay, it's not the time, and there will come a time when I would want him near me, and he won't be here. He would have grown up, and he will be in his. So I'm like, okay, why crib? Just relish the time I have.
And yes, that is true. And also, coming to the third point, Melga, the scene where when they're discussing whether to leave Raj to with the American couple, or that she should have the child with herself. That is where the definition of Catholic definition of love actually comes to fulfillment, because St. Thomas Aquinas says love is willing the good of the other as the other. So even though she was very much attached to Raj at that time, and she wanted to have Raj to herself, but she decided at that moment what is good for her, because she did not want Raj to go through that whole legal turmoil.
Court, yeah, exactly. That's when she realized, when she asked, okay, does Raj also have to come to the court? And they say, yeah, obviously the kid will have to come. I think that's the realization point for her, and that's when she decides, okay.
And that is when she really shows that the fact that she was willing to let go the child shows that her love was true, isn't it?
Yeah. It is like Abraham and Isaac, God testing you.
Yeah. And that was a very powerful Christian message, right? Sometimes
yes, that was definitely.
Sometimes we think love is, just possessing and just, having it for yourself. But true love is always willing the good of the other as the other.
Yes.
And
love is also letting go.
And this was not only from Mimi's side. It was also from the Summer's side, the American wife. Because she also thought...
True. I'm so glad that the movie ended in this way, because... Otherwise, what will Bollywood movies do? Okay, so Raj went with Summer, and then they won't show what happened. What happened to Mimi, they won't show. What happened to Raj, they won't show. Because Raj would have gone through a really bad, traumatic situation. Because he was 4 years. Obviously, he knows who his mother is. So, but I was so glad that they showed they showed this. They ended the movie in this way. So I felt that was good. And there's one more point that I need to say.
Sure.
I also like how they showed that the entire family had accepted what happened, what she did, the decision that it is like a message to the present society that you need not otherwise people are judgmental. When a girl, especially when a girl does something, people are so judgmental. But there was an accepting society over there, and I think it should be an example for the present society, how they are so judgmental when a girl does something like this. So that was also a really touching message.
Yes. And it was a surprise that one of the most Christian state in India brings out a movie which glorifies abortion. And who would have expected that Bollywood would stand up for life? When you saw the movie, what was your first thought, Melga?
That scene where she tells the doctor, right there.
Say it in Hindi, Melga. Bacha hai na? Something like Dude, that's why I asked you to say.
मैं विश्वास करती हूँ कि ये जो बच्चा मेरे अंदर है वो जिंदा है, वो हमारी हर बात सुनता भी है और वो बड़ा हो रहा है अंदर ही अंदर. फिर जो बच्चा
अंदर है, whether it is inside or outside, child.
जब बाहर जो बच्चा उसको मारना जुर्म है, that's not the exact term.
Yeah.
तो अंदर जो बच्चा है उसको मारना, why?
Yeah. So finish
Why
that.
isn't it a crime?
What was and then eventually she says, like, a child is a child, right?
हाँ, बच्चा तो बच्चा होता है.
Yeah.
You tell, I'll translate it.
Dude, that's what I just said. A child is a child, isn't it? How would you say?
बच्चा होता है.
Yeah, I
जैसे
think,
भी.
yeah, that is the foundational argument for anybody who wants to,
Yes.
propagate the pro-life message. Because if the child is life, you can't do anything to it. And if a child is not life, do anything with it. There's no argument. So this is the foundational argument. And who would have thought in a million years that a Bollywood movie will propagate this message? Isn't
Yay!
it? I think
But I think it's high time, JD, that people, the ones who are doing abortion, and they should like think about it at least 10 times before doing it, because it's not a thing. It's not a non-living thing that's growing inside you. It is a human, the baby, the kid. Because I am someone who has gone through miscarriage. I have friends who have done IVF, so I'm not against surrogacy or IVF, but I won't do it because for me, the minute I choose IVF or surrogacy, that means I'm doubting my God. The very minute I'm proclaiming that I don't believe in God. So for me, IVF and surrogacy is not. But for my I have so many Hindu friends who have had kids through IVF, not surrogacy, but through IVF. And I won't say anything because at the end, you need, if you are married, you would want a kid. They say that there's a complete feeling when you have a kid. So for someone like really desperate to have a kid. So that's what the ones who are doing an abortion, please think twice before you do it, because there's a baby growing inside you, and abortion, it's like killing the baby when the baby is alive. Miscarriage is like the baby's already dead and they're clearing your uterus. But abortion, they actually break your baby's bones and then it's pulled out according to the size of the baby. So please think about it when you do it.
And so the second miscarriage was in the third or fourth month, was it for you, Melga?
That was 5 weeks. Within 5 weeks, it was traumatic, JD, because I had to take a pill to get my uterus clean, and I could literally feel chunks of blood, and it was, I could start crying. It was so painful, and I was like, why God? Already I'm so like sad that I lost a baby and this pain, but then I was like, it's for your glory. I didn't know. I really don't know how I was so strong. I still, till date, I think. How did I trust the Lord so much? Because I was like, I am ready to wait. It's fine. You have a greater plan. That's all.
But you also, because of the miscarriages that you had, you also went through a lot of ups and downs in terms of being down.
Yeah.
Could you share that journey?
So when I had a first miscarriage, it was a shocker in my family because nobody had a miscarriage, and my father is so much into prayer, my mother. So it was like a big shock for the entire family. But then I was like, why did this happen? It took time for me to understand. But then after 3-4 months, me and Ajay, so we got pregnant the first 3 months. And then the miscarriage happened, and then eventually, so doctor said, don't get pregnant for at least 6 months. Let your body recover. Let it heal, and then maybe you can try. So during that process, me and Ajay got really close. So that is one good thing that happened. So I thought, okay, maybe this is the reason why. Because if we had a baby within the 3 months of marriage, I and Ajay wouldn't have been friends, because friendship is one key ingredient to a happy marriage.
Yeah.
No matter how, rest, everything is like nothing, I feel. If you can't be best friends with your husband, I don't know how, marriage will become really boring, I feel.
Yes.
But if your husband, if your partner is your best friend, then it will never be boring. Obviously, you will have your fights and everything, ups and downs, but still. And then I was not getting pregnant. So I know that I can get pregnant, but I was not getting pregnant for some reason. And then this thing that, okay, people are talking about it behind my back. That thing is there. No, thankfully, I have in-laws who didn't pressurize me, but then I could hear phone calls, people asking my mother-in-law, is she pregnant, and things like that. So, but my mother-in-law never said anything to me. So praise God to that I had such understanding in-laws. And nobody pressurized me directly, but then I could, societal pressure, I could feel that completely. But I was like, okay, God has a plan. Like how he gave me Ajay, I waited for Ajay. I saw so many guys. It's an arranged marriage. I saw so many guys before I met Ajay, and I got my perfect partner. So I was like, okay, if God has done that for me, he has a plan for me, and I will wait for it. And then I finally got pregnant again in 2016 December. So the first one was 2015 Jan, and the second one was 2016 December. So it was like around Christmas, just before Christmas. And in the first ultrasound itself, doctor was like, don't have your hopes high. The fetal heart rate is really low. It's really weak. And then miscarriage happened. I was like, okay. So one night I took to cry. I emptied a box of tissues. I cried. I was like, just one night I'm gonna cry, and that's it. And I'm not gonna think, because if I cry over it again and again, my relationship with Ajay is gonna spoil. So I was like, no, just one night. I cried and I was over it. Both of us, me and Ajay, were over it. And then 2017, in the month of May, I met a sister. She was my auntie's friend, nun. Auntie's friend. Yeah, she was. Sister Joyce asked me, so where is your kid? And I was like, I don't have a kid. I'm like, what? Come with me. And she took me. I was like, where is she taking me? And then she prayed. She started praying, and I had no idea that she had this. She was prayerful and all. Obviously not charismatic way, in a charismatic way. And she prayed, and she was like, Jesus is gonna bless you soon, and he's saying that he's really happy that you never gave up on him. And I started crying. I was like, thank you for letting me know this, because I was like, sometimes I used to think, does Jesus even know what I'm feeling? And how much ever you trust, there is a bit of you that sometimes asks, God, do you know what I'm feeling? Good, do you know what I'm going through right now? And she said, Jesus is really happy that you never broke down, or you still trust him and you have faith in him. He's going to bless you soon. And coming July, just before my birthday, July 3rd, I got to know that I'm pregnant. And I had a very safe pregnancy, to be honest. Like, really safe. So the initial few months were a little scary, because every time I used to go to the washroom, I used to go to the washroom to pee. I would check if there's any spotting or not. Then I remember, okay, the sister gave me a verse also. It's Isaiah 15:9. I don't remember the number exactly. It says that it had something to do. It said, do you not think that? I have bought you till. What was it? I don't remember. It basically said that there is not going to be any miscarriage.
Okay.
A baby will be born for sure. I don't remember the verse exactly. And then I remembered, okay, I need to stop doubting. I need to start believing. And I had a very safe pregnancy. Though I was at home because of the previous history, everybody was scared. So I was at home, but a very safe pregnancy. But those 3.5 years. And this is my favorite testimony, actually, because I saw the power of trusting in Jesus. So.
Yeah, and when you were going through the third pregnancy, could you tell for people, that there is life, right? Only a woman can say that a child is alive.
The baby is moving in your stomach.
From which month did you realize that?
So I think it happens after 5th month. So Ethan was literally lazy, I think. He wouldn't move much. So I had to push him and move, give me a moment. And then he would kick. And the belly was growing, that itself, and the kicks. That was enough. That's enough proof. Someone is kicking inside your stomach, man. It doesn't happen otherwise.
Sometimes when women go through, the third trimester abortion or late term abortion, just imagine the trauma both the child and the mother would go through.
I cannot even imagine, because that video comes to my mind, the abortion video. My goodness.
Which is
It
why
is.
it's very important as Christians we stand up to this evil Melga,
Yes,
because
yes,
if we do not
definitely.
speak up and we do not say what is the truth, then people will believe the falsehood and they will do like the most egregious thing. Which is why we have to come back to the narrative of the culture and not stand still and say silent. Okay, what can we do? We can't like give up on hope. We have to
Yes,
fight
yes,
till the
yes.
end.
No, you know what? Actually, for younger women who are watching this, even if you don't want to do it for the faith, at least do it for your body, because your body completely changes when you get something like this done. It is not shown in movies, but it is traumatic physically and mentally.
And you also went through a lot of emotional turmoil, right? When the miscarriages happened. Can you share
Yes.
what about that?
It's the same thing that I said before. It's basically, I think, the societal pressure that actually kills you, literally. Because I
But
don't
you were
know what
depressed, right, Melga?
no, not that time. I was not I was depressed later, postpartum depression. That happened 2 years after Ethan was born. That is a completely different thing. But the other thing, while not getting pregnant, I have a friend who is I'm not going to completely talk about her, but I know what she's going through because I've been in that stage. People just keep asking. That is one really, that is the most
But
irritating.
sometimes when like few years back I used to think waiting for marriage is the greatest cross that you have to carry, like it's
No,
very. But later on when I saw couples who are longing to have children,
there are
I
bigger crosses coming your way.
Goyala.
No, wait. After the first kid, no.
Yeah.
Where is the second kid?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Sid, go
People
back.
are like waiting with the cross. Come. You got married? Okay. Now where is the kid? Hold this. Where is the second kid? Hold this.
And by the way, for all who are figuring out what is the verse that Melga was talking about, it's Isaiah 66:9, where it says, "Rejoice with Jerusalem and be glad for her, all who love her. Rejoice greatly with her, all who mourn over her. For you will nurse and be satisfied at her comforting breast. You will drink deeply and delight in her overflowing abundance." Was it that?
No. Check 59:9.
Dude, this video is live. You're asking me to check.
Since you're checking. Since you're
I
checking.
think someone put 69:9. That's why. Shall I bring to birth and not cease to bring forth?
Yes.
That's
Shall I bring to
That is
birth?
69:9 only, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe I knew a different version. So that's the verse that I used to write every day. Sister asked me to write it, and when she gave it to me, I was like, okay, why? And then when I got pregnant, I understood. Oh, this is the reason why.
And also, Gifty Joes, she says, "Praise the Lord. At least Bollywood could do a movie that is pro-life. In the scenario where Sarah's a movie depicting pro-choice, even the characters are shown as Christians." That's a good observation, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, thanks, Geraldine, for putting the verse. So it's 66:9. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it is a slap on the face for Sarah's, right? This Mimi's movie. At every, thing, I think it really. I think it's providential, Melga. Now that I see a movie which was capturing whole of India, where people were, even the silent people were now starting to say pro-life, body, women's choice, and all that, but completely negating the fact that the child in the womb is life. And 1 year, I mean, probably 3 months since Sarah's got released, a movie which is
2 months. Yeah.
another
2
movie,
months.
yeah, which is completely given a slap on the face, and this has
Yeah, I
national
think.
appeal.
Yeah, exactly. And actors like Anna Ben. I mean, after watching the movie, I'm not being judgmental, but I seriously felt that Anna Ben is like an upcoming, and she has a like good fan base in Kerala.
Uh,
Uh, I think actors should be a little more responsible when they take up such projects, because it sends there's so much responsibility. Like fans are used to, they have this human tendency of following what the idols do. Back to that idol talk.
yes.
so I think the actors really need to think when they are deciding on the movies and what the story is.
Yeah, and not only this movie made me cry at different instances ever since that how she's trying to have the child. There were a lot of good moments also in the movie, right? I laughed like when the first time the driver meets the heroine and he proposes this idea and she slaps her and there is
Slaps.
a drunker who's like, "Who's that?" And even no one. I think the chemistry that was shared between the driver and her Kirti,
Yeah.
what's her name? Sanan,
Kriti Sanon.
was very good, right?
Very good, very good. And that is one more good thing, that
Uh,
they didn't choose any
Casting
big
was awesome.
actors.
Hmm.
Casting was awesome. A very normal cast, and everybody played their role so well.
Yeah.
All the actors were so good.
Yeah, and what was your favorite scene other than the ones we have already spoken about? Something more funny, you really it made you laugh from the movie?
He says that he gives her a bottle while they're lying on the bed.
Yeah.
He's like, keep this, since you're expert at throwing things, throw this, but don't shout. My heartbeat races when you shout.
And they cut there and then eventually they show a
And
dark
next
way.
thing
Yeah.
she shouts.
I think this director who directed the movie, is he famous?
I know who's the director.
I don't think so. He's a big name, but I think he's done a wonderful job with the screenplay because there is no scene where you are just it's dragging or there is this scene.
There was no drag. It was like the story went how it had to go.
Because I cannot watch a movie without forwarding, especially movies which I don't like. So you actually suggested this movie. So my idea was, as I watch Sarah's, I will just like forward and come to the end and come to the crux of the whole movie. But this movie, I just was not able to do that because it's so well made.
I agree. Sarah's, I also actually, so we were watching it in the night, and then halfway through the movie, I was like, I'm going to sleep. And the next day, I woke up and I was like, did you watch the movie? I asked Ajay, and I was like, yeah. So, what happened? She goes ahead with the pregnancy, and he's like, no, she aborts. And for a minute, I mean, I literally had a mini attack. I was like, oh no, that's bad. That's a wrong message for the new generation. It's like, no.
Yeah.
And then I watched the entire movie and I'm like, no, they shouldn't have done this.
Yeah. And also Leslie Phillips says, glad that you showed that doctors can be wrong and the baby ended up with no anomalies. Sometimes, doctors can also scare you, right? Even in the Sarah's movie, the guy says...
In my case also, actually, so one of my gynaes, he said that, and it's a fact. Actually,
What's a gynae?
Gynecologist.
Okay. Okay.
So he was like, so there was something wrong in the first pregnancy. He was like, okay, get this test done. And I was like, is anything wrong? Is something wrong? He was like, I don't know, Melga, but the thing is, technology has gone like so far, or even in the older previous generation and all, there used to be a problem, but because the technology was not that developed, we used to not know, and we used to have the baby in an easy peasy way. But now the technology is so advanced that every other thing, like doctors just scare you. Okay, there might be something wrong. You need to get this test done. And throughout your pregnancy, and especially in the 38th week, when you're arriving in the 38th week, the doctor will be like, are you sure you want to go for a normal delivery?
Yeah.
Or maybe you might have a miscarriage, but you want to have a planned delivery. And then you'll be like, oh God, the doctor is saying this and I've had a miscarriage. Okay, then I'll go for a planned. That is C-sec.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think which is why, I mean, we are not going to dismiss what the doctors say, but it has to be a both and approach. You have to also have bring God in the picture. We are not saying, okay, what completely do not consider what the doctor is saying, but have that, but also have God in the picture. So sometimes, God has the bigger picture. The doctor is only seeing what is in the present, but God sees the future also, right?
The doctor is just giving his or her assumptions. It is not even a confirmed thing. But they have this ability of what if, and that scares the patient. But this was really good thing that they showed that the results can be like really completely wrong. that is one eye opener actually for the present generation.
Yeah, and recently I also did an interview with another person called Jacob Devesia from South Africa. So in his case also, the doctors said that the child could have some anomalies, and they, they were also, like the whole,
Planned.
yeah, abortion was thing. So
Oh.
but they overcame that. They did not abort the child, but eventually the child died at 5 months through miscarriage. So Leslie also says also it would have been nice to see that even if the baby was a special needs baby, that their lives can also have happiness. More than happiness, purpose. When I saw this movie, right, Melga, what really touched me was that every child who comes into this life has a specific purpose and a plan that God has for them. And we are, consciously kind of thwarting that plan, the beautiful plan that God has for each and every child, isn't it?
True. You know what? With Ethan also, I sometimes wonder. Okay, what does God want me to? I mean, what is His purpose? As in, we come here on this earth with a purpose. You came here and saw. I think it was for Song and Fire.
Yes,
And
dude.
so many
Nothing
people
else. Nothing else. Only
else
Song
you
on
can
Fire.
do good, Jay. I think this is the only best thing.
என்ன ஒரு encouragement.
So praise God for that. So me and Ajay coming together, that had a purpose, setting really good example as a couple. And now Ethan is
Go a
in our
little
life.
back, Michelle. Melga, sorry.
So everybody who's watching, JD has a problem with names.
Names, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, you were talking about purpose.
Yeah, purpose. So when me and Ajay came together, I was pretty sure that God brought us together for a reason, because I saw so many guys, Pendaganal thing and all. I saw so many men, but then finally it was Ajay. And when I remember when I saw Ajay's photo for the first time, I was like, I'm definitely not marrying this guy because he's so tall. He has a really good physique. I am so short. I am not gonna marry this guy. And this guy looks really not active in social media. I mean, he just had 2-3 photos on Facebook. I was like, I don't think so. But then the very first time I met him, there were like around 10-15 people from his family who came to see me, and it just clicked. It just clicked. And I was like,
everybody keeps saying this. I'm going to kick all of you. You guys, you'll just know. It will just click, dude.
There was this Chechi who told me that I remember me and Melba asked her, how do you know that? I think Cicely and Mariam also told us that it will click. Don't worry. Theirs is also an arranged marriage. Right? Like, it will click for you all. And I used to wait. When is it gonna click? When is it gonna? How am I gonna know that it has clicked? What is gonna happen?
Yeah.
I had this really fondness for big families and all. And when Ajay came with 10-15 people, I think that clicked for me.
Yeah.
It clicked for my mother as well. And both of us were like, not bad,
right? Yeah. And so, so God bringing both you and Ajay also had a purpose, isn't it?
Yes.
So aborting a child is like aborting one of the a beautiful plan that God has for us, and who knows, through that child, God is going to bring so much of blessing into this world, isn't it?
Yeah, you just have to think, whoever is deciding to abort, just think of one thing. What if your mother had aborted you? You wouldn't be on this earth, and you are on this earth to do something really amazing. So let the child come.
So that's a very good note to end the interview.
Yeah.
So finally we crossed the bump, Melga. So we got to.
Okay, yay.
Yeah. So please look, please await a lot of Bollywood movie reviews from both of us. So now we are going to go all out and share our thoughts. So Melga is, from this interview, you know that she spoke very less, but normally she speaks more than me. So probably in the following interviews, you will come to know her real self.
I'm just coming out of my comfort zone. So
yeah. So I think it was an amazing sharing, Melga. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you, JD, for thinking about me.
Hello. You have any final words?
No, I had an amazing. See, I love talking to you because I get a lot of insight when we talk out loud. So I had an amazing time. I'm looking forward to do more movie reviews.
Yes. Cool. So with that we end, Melga. So I'm going to cut the live. Stay on the call.
Okay, fine. Okay.